3, 4 steps I take from my bed to the floor. 5, 6, 7, 8. Will today be rough or will today be great? 9, 10, 11, 12. Lately I've been going through hell. 13, 14, 15, 16. Today's the day. Let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4 steps I take from my bed to the floor. 5, 6, 7, 8. Will today be rough or will today be great? 9, 10, 11, 12. Lately I've been going through hell. 13, 14, 15, 16. Today's the day. Are you coming? Are you I'm sick of being normal? I'm sick of being average. I'm sick of being mortal. I'm about to be a savage. I see a lot of things that I want. I will have them. I got a new mindset that I just established. I'll march through the cold with the nails on the pavement. I'll shovel that coal just to get out the basement. My story will be told, helping others make changes. I'll be so bold they will watch in amazement.
Am I gonna face it? Am I gonna chase it? Am I gonna start over? I keep waiting. Time is limited, quickly fading. Get my mind right, it's my time to take it. Am I gonna face it? Am I gonna chase it? Am I gonna start over? I keep waiting. Time is limited, quickly fading. Get my mind right, it's my time to take it.
Let's get forward there. What I learned after having gone through my first spiritual battle.
I will never settle, got my foot up on the pedal, pushing hard to the metal, make a deal with the devil, channel rage through my vessel into something that is special, energy of a rebel, going up a level. I just wanna be greatness, I could feel changes, turn a new page and tie up my laces. I will be the bravest, break out of my cages. I will not be nameless, I will not be aimless.
Am I gonna chase it? Am I gonna start over? I keep waiting. Time is limited, quickly fading. Get my mind right, it's my time to take it. Am I gonna face it? Am I gonna chase it? Am I gonna start over? I keep waiting. Time is limited, quickly fading. Get my mind right, it's my time to take it.
How's everybody going tonight? All right, if you're here, let me know how the sound is. We're back to doing it old school, just be no PA. Been a while. I love that song. Okay, so anybody wants to hop in, you're more than welcome to. Let me just make sure we got sound. Give me 1 second, everybody. Give me 1 second. Got sound. Give me 1 second, everybody. Okay, so I don't know how loud it needs to be, how soft it needs to be. Everybody hear me? So they let out a cat. Okay, I'll be right back. Sorry, guys. Right back. Can't be over here. Did you let out? Yeah. You let out Blanca. Thank you. That's the mama. Close the door. Sorry about that, guys. My cousin is having a bit of a situation, and uh, so she's not going to be on the stream today. Anyway, welcome you all. Okay, so let's talk about everything that's going on. 1 second. Funny. She's not going to be on the stream today. Okay. So she's going through some stress. She's under her own spiritual attack, if you want to call it that. Um, so let's talk about it. First off, I am sorry I left you guys for so long. I did not mean to. I did not desire to. Um, I was under what I can only describe as a spiritual attack. Now, I don't like using that kind of uh, language. It's a little foo-foo for me. It's a little woo-woo, but I don't think there's any better language for it. So let's talk about what happened. Let's talk about what a spiritual attack is and how we can understand that in more secular or reasonable terms. So, about 2 months ago, um, a manager where I work took over and changed the way that we run things. And this person, I did not earn as much as I normally earn. And that's now a problem right now. Um, our styles of doing what I do for a living didn't mesh. And I lost a lot of money, a lot of money. Um, and uh, it left me open. It left me vulnerable to what we're going to call a spiritual attack. Now, my cousin also has some issues, and she's talked about it on here. She has addiction issues. She has mental stability issues, and that has been affecting my household as well. After that, my dad's Alzheimer's, and there's a lot of mental instability. There's also some emotional instability happening. And my cousin is being very honest with me. She's doing a great job, but she knows that she needs to move on to a place where she can be crazy on her own and not here. But that also has left a wound between us where I don't really want her to go. I don't think she really wants to leave, but we both know that it's time for her to take her next step. So she thinks that it's somebody who put a spell, magic. I don't believe in magic, as you all know, but that's what she thinks. Um, as you know, me and my wife separated, uh, and my wife, out of nowhere, couldn't get a password to work for a thing that we both need to do for my stepson. And she blamed me, and she shredded me. I mean, you've been married to someone for 9 years, they know all your weak spots. And she hit every single one. And mind you, I'm already vulnerable to this because of the situation that I'm in, the high pressure, the high intensity. So I fall off the wagon. I've been sober for many, many years. Not just sober as in uh, drinking, but sexually sober. Chaste is not the right word, but sexually controlled, I guess would be the way to put it, under control. Um, I've been spiritually, sounds terrible, spiritually wet, spiritually moist. I've been very spiritually active. And then suddenly, for the first time in my entire life, I mean, even when I was into dark stuff, even when I was fallen, I'd always been spiritually alive. And I, for the first time ever, fell into spiritual dryness. And I stopped going to church for a little bit. And I stopped reading the Bible. And I stopped saying my prayers. And so this left me more open. Now, again, we're going to get into what this is and isn't. Is it a break in routine? Is it a break in whatever? My cousin says she doesn't know how she sounds. So if you heard the opening when I was asking her about the cat, you would have heard how she responded. She responds like that all the time. And I don't enjoy that response. I didn't leave that open on purpose, by the way. That was simply an accident. I forgot to hit mute. But that's how she responds to everything. And so I had stopped wanting to come home after work. So I started going to a bar, at first soberly, um, but then not soberly. Um, and my previous lifestyle, so between the ages of 17 and the ages of 25, almost every single day I went to the island, to the beach. And almost every single day, every single night, I worked out. And almost every single night, I went to a strip club of some kind, after hours club, bars, whatever you want to call it. Topless, all nude, uh, BYOB, the whole thing. And I was a bartender, bar back. Um, well, I was a bar back who acted as a bartender. And I was a bouncer for a goth nightclub, and I was a doorman for a popular club. um, Made about $500 a night doing that. By the way, it's good money. After that, my friends uh, went into dancing, and my buddies became DJs and bouncers and managers of clubs. So any club where I live, especially the more popular clubs, I could get in for free. I could do I don't know if you remember the Fat Joe song, but I could walk in and go through security and they would push everything aside and let me walk in however I wanted to walk in. And I always had a group of friends. I think at the largest point, we were a group of 200. Um, no last names here, but the core group were a group of people: Marcos, Christian, Sylvia, Lexi, Jr., Jason. Although Jason was never really part of the group, he was just dating the girls. Uh, then there was Angel, a different Angel, and okay, there was me. Oh my goodness, there was Jerry, Angela, and then this huge group like this. We just took on like two or three different. We used to have party streets back then, so we had took on two or three different party streets, and we would just all congregate. We go from house to house to house until the end of the night. Uh, Although now after parties go till like 7, at this time after party would probably end at like 3, maybe 4. 3 o'clock more than likely. And then you fall asleep, you wake up with the sunrise, drop everybody off. You have to drop off and go do it again. We did this for years, and of course it doesn't last. And the girls cycle out, and the guys keep going. And there's some guys who are still going. And I found out this weekend some of the girls are still partying. Yes, that's going to be part of this story too. At that time, I had left the church. I still believed in God, and I still defended the Bible, oddly enough, which is funny because it wasn't something that I was like actively reading. Uh, I remember I dated Precious and I dated Onyx. Oof, is that a story on its own? And Onyx ended badly. Trish, of course, everybody knows about. And again, no last names here. We're just going through the story. And that would have been the end of it. I got really cocky. I felt really good about myself. I went to college and I had kind of realized that I'd party out the first time. Like I'd gone too far with the partying and I was out of it, right? Like it was like not my scene anymore. And I was like really deep into philosophy and I was helping out this core group. And then these group of people would come and hang out with me. And they'd hang out with me everywhere. And it's a group of very beautiful girls. So I felt really good about myself. This is about a year and a half before I met the ex, like the ex that really fucked me up. This is a year before that, year and a half before that. And at first they weren't into me, and then I just kept being nicer and nicer to them. You know what I mean? Yes, we're going to talk about the spiritual warfare that's happening right now, or that just ended right now. But you got to understand the backstory. You got to understand what made me vulnerable to this. Let's call it psychic attack or spiritual attack. These girls have been hanging out with me for months, and I was already out of the party scene, and I was working out every day. I was a personal trainer for, I think, two of the girls. They were my clients. Um, and a third one I dated for a little while, but we never really hooked up. We were just, we would go out and we just couldn't vibe. I remember one time she asked me a question and I answered incorrectly. I tried to answer romantically, and that was not what she was looking for. She was looking for a very uh, unromantic answer, put it that way. So, naively, uh, one night after being friends for a while, one of them had broken up with a boyfriend. He was a bad boyfriend. He may or may not have been a little bit abusive, and she was complaining. And I said, "Well, hey, we hang out all the time. Why don't you consider me?" And she goes, "Well, I have considered you. In fact, all of us have, all four of us." I'm like, "Okay." She goes, "I would never date you." And I was like, "Okay, that's fine. There's three other options here." And she goes, and we had a discussion about this, and it went on much longer than I thought it would have. Like, it went really long. We're like a discussion, not just a conversation, like a discussion. Like, she stressed it, right? Okay, well, this could be good. Right? And let's hear what they think of me. And I said maybe because I'm too chubby, or I don't have big enough muscles and shit. She's like, you can't go rough up my boyfriend because not because I don't want you to, but because you destroy him. You're too muscular. And, oh, you see the muscles? She goes, yes, of course I see the muscles. Everyone sees the muscles. At the time, I looked really jacked, so it's like, oh, I like where this is going. I do it that way. And her name's Dawn. She goes, we all talked about it, and we decided none of us would date you. None of us would ever date you. And I'm like, oh. And she goes, and it's not that you're unattractive. And of course, all I hear is this, because you're hideous. And it's not because you're not an interesting person. We love talking to you. That's why we always go to you when we see you at a bar, at a club, or sitting by yourself. That's why we always go to sit with you, because we love talking to you. I'm like, I'm waiting for the next kick. Now, I'm expecting a gut punch. I'm going to get a kick in the nuts. She's just like, what we all decided, as in together, what we all decided was that a girl like us would never be with a guy like you. Hey, Louie. And it's good to see you, brother. Actually, I needed you this past week, man. I really did. Marco stepped in and helped me out, but man, I really needed you. Um, for those that don't know, he's a religious person as well, and someone who I've prayed together with many, many times, especially when we were struggling in our business. And well, it destroyed me. After everyone was gone, I mean, I dropped her off back home. I did the whole thing. I didn't remember it when I recalled it the first time earlier this month, a few days ago. I actually wrote a little story about it. But it was actually here at the house. It was in my kitchen. I mean, in my breakfast nook that we had this conversation. We were drinking, just chilling out, and yeah. Uh, After a workout of all things, too. And I was her personal trainer. It crushed me. A little bit after that, her dad died, and we couldn't recover. I tried to show off, and I didn't show off correctly, and showing off never works. Trying to be cool never works. I learned all these lessons back then. So the fact that I'm going to repeat them in the story about the battle that I'm going to talk about, uh, fucking weird. Fucking weird how much I regressed in just a matter of days, how much I crumbled. Okay. So that incident dropped my standards. Um, I wasn't. I had a very high standard, and there was a particular person that I was idolizing and putting on a pedestal that I was aiming at, and I was just turning down everyone who didn't match that. She didn't even match that idea. I mean, this was just an internal thing that the real life person who's still my friend to this day, who I still love dearly, who still loves me dearly, and we care for each other, is nothing like the idealized version that I put in my head. The real life person is way more interesting, for one thing, and number two, way more human and susceptible to temptation like everybody else, um, and flawed, but beautifully flawed. Uh, One of the most beautiful people I know. I think one of the most beautiful people in the entire world. And I don't just mean looks, although she is beautiful inside and out. Just a genuinely good person. And I won't mention her name because she and I are still actively friends, and I don't want anyone to be able to look her up. But I dropped my standards so low that I started dating a hostess, and this is after. So cut to a year later, I have a cancer scare, and I end up with someone who has their own issues. And as I'm going through the cancer scare, they become super unsupportive. Um, and they break up with me as I'm going through that. Mind you, we were in our 20s, man. Like it was too soon for something like that. But we were talking about getting married and all this other stuff. So I'm completely devastated, completely crushed, and I have a bad reaction to the breakup. I drop out of school, the whole thing. And I end up at a bar. See a pattern? Anybody else see a pattern here? So I'm 25 years old and I end up at a bar. I'm completely like I'm rail thin from the cancer meds, from the prep pack. It ends up just being hyperpylora. It's fine. But I'm at this place at a strip club, no money, and this beautiful woman with little scars here, skinny, dark skin. First night, second night being the bartender. She gives me free drinks on the house and she introduced me to the hostess. Me and the hostess end up having a relationship for, I don't know, maybe a year after that. Who knows? 6 months. Let's say we went for 6 months after that. Every night, just amazing, just great fun. Lots of adventures, lots of things I can't say that's safe. That's not safe for YouTube, right? And toward the end of it, she offers to have my baby, and I consider it. And as I'm driving home, this is before cell phones are a regular thing, and I haven't given my cell phone number out to anyone. This girl that I'm talking about calls me. It's like 3 a.m. And again, this is before after clubs exist. So this is 3 a.m. is like everything's already shut down. So I'm driving home. She calls me. She's like, "Hey, I just got divorced." And I'm like, "Oh, okay." And we have this conversation and we talk about how we felt about each other back when we knew each other. And I'm like, "Hey, just to let you know, I was in love with you." She goes, "Oh, it's okay because I was in love with you the whole time too." Bam, snaps me out, snaps back into reality. I had spent everything. I was just completely lost. I spent my money. I was wasting my life. And just 6 months of just debauchery, of total hedonistic um, self-denial is like just completely oblivion, like just lost. And I snap out of it. I'm like, I don't know what to do. Like the only skills I have are martial arts and philosophy. What am I going to do? So I start teaching. I start telling my friends, "Hey, I'm looking for students to teach." And I end up meeting one of the best friends of my life. There's me and her are no longer friends. We're no longer hang out, but I have positive things to say about her. As far as I know from everyone who's told me, she has nothing but positive things to say about me. And we train clients together for years. Uh, for almost 15 years, we do martial arts together. It's beautiful. She's a beautiful friendship, beautiful person, great life, but not a wealthy life. And at the end, that's when I meet Ruli. That's when I meet my ex-wife. And she looks at this simplistic life that I built and very disciplined life that I built, and she disapproves. She says I need to make money. So that's when I go into the business that I go into, that I'm into now. And I do eventually make money. It takes a long time to get good though. So patterns repeat. And if you're not confident in the way that you healed, and if someone who's a little chaotic comes into your life and reopens some old wounds, you're going to start behaving in ways that are not healthy. You're going to start repeating old patterns you thought you had abandoned. If anyone's been through rehab with their sex addiction or uh, drug addiction or alcoholism, uh, it's it's called relapsing. I relapsed for 5 days. 5 days, I was an insecure little bitch. I was drinking a ton. I wasn't working out. I wasn't reading the Bible. I was sometimes praying, but I wasn't praying enough. Um, I wasn't going to church. And I say 2 weeks, but really for 2 months, I was not being myself. And I was slowly, itty bitty, regressing. Now, I regressed at one point to where I was 2 years ago when I quit my previous job. That would have been a fine place to stop. But then an incident happened where someone who I trusted didn't trust me to tell me the truth. And I can understand why, but they don't know my backstory. They don't know what I just told you, and they don't know how real what I just told you is, and how I'm still friends with these people. I'm still connected to these people. I still care about these people. There is no judgment coming from me. But because they hid it and because because I caught it the way that only I can catch it, I regressed. And then when I tried to make it up to them, I responded by acting like the exact kind of creep that I hated back in the day. There was a guy where I used to work who me and him are on good terms now. Actually, me and him mended fences just a day ago. But he's toxic. And I have another old boss that is trying to get sober, who's also toxic. And he hurt a dear friend of ours. And damaged this person, really. And I was acting like them. I was acting like a cliche businessman. And I am ashamed. See, I had forgotten all the lessons I learned, not just the lessons I learned since I became a better man, since I fixed my life, since I got rid of my debt. No, I forgot all the lessons. And for 5 days, I was acting like an immature teenager. Yes, we'll get into that right now. And I think if you listen to the story, you'll see that it's very much not fake. And there are consequences to a person who I care about. Um, there was an accident, a car accident. I was involved, thank goodness, but someone in their family did get injured in the car accident. And while I did do the right thing in that situation, in the rest of the situation, I acted immature and childish. So, what are the accusations of spiritual warfare here? That a demon or an evil spirit was trying to test us, test me. That God Himself was testing me and those around me, those in my life, testing us by fire. Because God controls everything. Nothing happens without God's will allowing it. that some witch somewhere who has a vendetta against my cousin was casting some kind of black magic spell against her. But what does that relate to in reality? Why I would say spiritual warfare is 100% not fake. So, what is a demon? Well, I would say a demon would either be a repressed personality, a shadow self, some kind of dark intention within yourself that you don't want to acknowledge. I would say it's very psychological and very real. Yes. And what is Santa, Santeria? What is black magic? Well, it's people wishing you ill, or at least your perception that they're wishing you ill. And see, if you stay in your own head all the time, if you only talk about this stuff all the time, if you don't touch grass, if you don't visit reality more, and instead you're just talking about the stuff and you're spinning in a circle, the stuff becomes more and more real. And even if they're not doing anything, well, that psychological torture you're putting yourself into makes the spell, the magic, very real. So you have people not liking you or people wishing you ill becoming a spell, becoming magic. You have your psychological damage, your uh, the tragedies of your life being the demons that are attacking you. You have the fact that if you want to reach your goals, you want to be the person you are, you have to hold up to your ideals, and your temptation not to is always present. You have your goal, your God, that which you hold at most high, testing you, saying, if you really want this, you can't do what you want to really do because you want to self destruct. You want to stop. There was a third one. It was God, magic. What was the other one? What was the other one? What was the other one? Fate, destiny. We don't believe in those things. Let's not worry about that. So, is there a psychological portion to this? Sure. Is there a haunting, a ghost to this? Maybe. But God is very real. That something created everything, and that something will be there after everything's destroyed, and it'll be the same thing. Makes perfect sense to me. And I believe that something has a will because this universe has laws. And I believe that if we go against those laws, bad things happen. Now, you can think of this as gravity. You jump off a cliff, you're going to fall. You jump into a water and you jump into the ocean and you don't swim, you're going to drown. But if you follow the rules of the Bible, if you don't throw your money away, if you invest your money, you'll have more. If you are loyal to your wife or your girlfriend, you don't have to worry about infidelity. If they're loyal to you, your marriage is secure. If you guys listen to each other and obey each other and submit your wills to each other and aren't prideful, you'll have a better relationship. But if you are, you'll have fights and arguments and secrets destroy relationships. We all know this. Secrets are bad. To love someone and for someone to be truly loved, you must have all of them, the good and the bad. You have to accept it. And if they let you accept it, then you're going to have a great relationship because then their problems aren't problems. Their weaknesses are places where you can be strong. But if they hide and they obfuscate and they give half truths, well, then it's poison. toxic, as they say. But telling the truth, the whole truth, not hiding anything, and the other person not reacting like a monster, but instead being forgiving and understanding. Well, that's a relationship, man. That's love. That's a lifetime together. You do it for each other. Oof, unstoppable, unbreakable. See, that's that third element, though. Evil spirits. I had somebody whispering in my ear. Now, I don't know if they were whispering in my ear because they were trying to be malicious, because they were trying to help me, trying to warn me, or trying to maybe get them to. Maybe they thought it was a fellow traveler. They're trying to get me on their path so they can go out with me and have a good time with me. Who knows? Who knows what it was? But I shouldn't have listened to them. See, I was being weak. My insecurities were being weak. So yeah, there is a little devil. There is a little devil on your shoulder, telling you to doubt, telling you that they really mean what they say. You can put two and two together. You don't need proof. Your intuition is telling you. Instead, you just ask them boldly, bluntly, non-cowardly, and accept their answer, and either trust or don't trust. See, here are the great sins of my temptation: calumny, detraction, lust, fear, doubt, resentment, pride, arrogance, self-righteousness. Those are real sins. And I think they did some real damage, both to me and a potential relationship that I think can go on forever. So yes, B.S. Lewis, spiritual warfare is real. And a spiritual battle did take place. Now, if you want to say it's a psychic battle, that's fine, but I think that sounds just as implausible. No, I think that I know that God snapped me out of it. Because when I tried to go out and behave the same way, I couldn't. See, I had this weird 2-night, 3-part revelation come to me, and I remembered everything. So the other night, I was by myself, and I ended up looking up at an all-night club, an after-hours place. When I got there, I was shocked that it was my old club. It was my secondary hangout. It was a place I got in for free, that I ran, that I helped get things done at. It was one of my spots, one of the places that I ran. And it was now an after-hours club. And the bizarre thing is there was one person there who kept their rules very tight. And they were telling me about how they keep their rules. And now for 2 years, they've never broken their rules. And I believed everything they were saying. And we weren't like flirting or nothing. We were just conversating. Two old professionals. And then I see another old friend, a very familiar face, someone who I've partied with for years, 20 years ago, 25 years ago. And I'm like, what are you doing here? And they're like, oh, I never left. After the place burnt down, I went over here to this other place. And then when that place closed down, I came back here. And I'm like, but you've been doing this for 20 years? She's like, yeah. And I'm like, it's the same scene. It's the same bar. You've never left. And we just have this great conversation about old friends, about where they are now. Some are teachers, some are principals, some are in jail, some are dead. We have this really like just great conversation. And I realized how much of a judgmental prick I was being. Now, this happened. I realized that before. So I said it's like a multiple part revelation that I had that snapped me out of this. But when I tried to go out and party without the person I'd been hanging out with, I wasn't having a good time. I got offers from from women, I should say, to go hook up, to go party, to go do whatever. And I could only say one thing to them: no, I don't want to. And the harder they tried, the more I was like, just get the away from me. Just get away from me. I'm not interested. I don't want to be with you. I mean, you're beautiful. Every guy here wants you. I don't. I have someone that I want, and I don't want anybody else. And I felt better. And my mind just started healing. My body started healing. And then my body just crashed. All this tension from 2 months just crashed. I was cramping. I was in pain. I was hurting, like physically hurting. And I forced myself to get up. And I grabbed my entire family, my cousin and her kids included, and I took them to church. Then I got home, fell asleep. A buddy of mine called me. We had a pizza. We went to IKEA, um, had a coffee, had a good conversation. Then another friend of mine, Ruin, reached out to me, and she was saying about something that maybe we'll talk about in the future. And I decided to do a show because this is what I do. After work, I do a show. So, yeah, relapses are real. Mental exhaustion is real. Old wounds getting reopened and you repeating old behaviors, old patterns that you thought were long gone. It's a real thing. And it's nothing to be ashamed about. You have to apologize. You have to change. You have to move on. You have to realize that it might happen again, but you got to be more prepared and you got to work really hard. It had been, I think the last time I had any kind of relapse was when I quit my job. Uh, I quit my corporate job. I think it's the last time I really relapsed. And I've had some slips here and there with alcohol, but not with sex. And I realize that I don't want to have partners. I want to have a partner, a single one. And I don't want the girl that all the guys want. I want the girl that I want. I want the woman that I love. No one else. And I turned down, I don't know, 20 options. 4 weeks ago, 5 weeks ago, after my ex-wife, crushed me, saying that the only reason she married me was for a specific reason and it was nothing else, and that I wasn't good and all this other kind of stuff. She apologized. She said, "I didn't mean what I said. I just said that to hurt you. The truth is, uh, I married you because I love your body and I like the way that we have sex together. And yes, the other thing was a bonus. But even if that was the case, where that was true then, we've been married 9 years. The reason why I want you back, why I want you to still come to China, even though we're done, is because I like you." She should have said that from the beginning, right? And then maybe we wouldn't have gotten divorced. And the person who I'm with now, if I'm with them, I don't know. I think I am. I hope I am. I love them. I care about them. And I accept them for everything. I have so many flaws. I am not the guy who's going to throw the first stone, man. I am a sinner. But she has only known me a very short time. And so she doesn't know who I am. So she might be under the false impression that that weak person is who I am. That's not who I am. It's part of who I am, but it's not who I am. It's an aspect of me that I thought I had gotten rid of a long time ago, but it's still in there. That insecurity, it's always there. You don't feed it. And I fed it. Someone else was feeding it, but I let them feed it. And that was really stupid of me. So if I stay with this person, or if this person stays with me, I should say, good. And if they don't, but I believe in them and I trust them. And I learned that I still have that weakness inside of me. That pride, which is also a sin, BS, is part of the problem. So yes, sin is real. Yes, temptation is real. Yes, spiritual warfare is real. But you can put it in reasonable terms. You can put it in logical, secular terms, but that doesn't change the realness of it or the consequences, the temporal consequences that you have to deal with. Whatever was going on, the spell is broken. The evil spirits have been cast out. The devil has lost yet again, and God is good. But I can put myself in temptation at any time. It's not the devil, it's me. That's the hard part. That's the part that people get wrong about Genesis all the time. That's the part that people forget. Adam is the one who messed up. Yes, I know Eve ate the apple. Fine. But it's Adam who blamed the woman and refused to take on responsibility himself. I messed up. No one else, not the devil, not any temptation, not what I witnessed. Someone else's sin, someone else's mistake. It's not mine. I can forgive it. I can move on. But if I'm responding to it in an evil or childish or immature or sinful way, then that sin is mine, not theirs. Let their sin be theirs and my sin be mine. And God already paid for my sin. I'm already forgiven. I'm already loved by the Lord. So what am I doing being a judgmental prick? So, Louis, I forgave Pinzon yesterday over the phone. I told him I love him, and we buried the hatchet. I don't know what's going to happen next, but I believe in free will, and I believe in God, and I trust in Jesus Christ, and I believe in the Holy Spirit, and I know I love somebody, and you know the rest. Who cares? Let people judge, say rumors, do whatever they want. Those are their sins to bear, not mine. And maybe one day they'll find God. Maybe when they see me and they see that I'm being forgiving and that I'm being true to myself, and that even after I sin and I fall and I get back up and I ask for forgiveness and I repent, as I'm doing now, and I stay true to my faith and I do not deny God, and I accept the forgiveness that He has given me. Maybe one day they'll do the same, and the Lord will reach out to them and they will accept the forgiveness that He has for them. Who knows? But that's it. This was supposed to be a discussion. It became a little bit more of a sermon. Anybody in the room want to hang out? We can, but I'm going to hang up. I'm going to be done in about 2 minutes. I love you all. I will, Louis. And Louis, pray for me. Pray for me, man. I need it. Thank you, Dudu Head. Thank you, B.S. Lewis. Thank you, Louis. Thank you, everyone. And have a great night. Remember what I always say. God loves you. So love everyone. Love your enemy. Love the stranger. Love your neighbor. Love your family and love yourself. And most importantly, love God above all. And remember that God forgives you. So forgive everybody for everything. Forgive your enemy. Forgive the stranger. Forgive your neighbor. Forgive your family and forgive yourself. Thank you and good night.
Let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4 steps I take from my bed to the floor. 5, 6, 7, 8. Will today be rough or will today be great? 9, 10, 11, 12. Lately I've been going through hell. 13, 14, 15, 16. Today's the day. Are you coming? Are you sick of being normal? I'm sick of being average. I'm sick of being mortal. I'm about to be a savage. I see a lot of things that I want.